Good day. This is Jim Spencer from Long Beach, California. I am a jazz pianist and I'm a recording artist that you can find my music through my website, jamesrspencer.com, or under James Spencer at iTunes, CD Baby, and so forth. As a recording artist in jazz, I often get asked, well, how do I find a really good jazz piano coach? Because most piano teachers tend to be classical. And I totally believe in classical technique. I'm a classical player myself, but most classical teachers do not teach improvisation, playing, anything for industry, and all the different pop styles of music. And so this is something I ran into as a teacher, and I wanted to find a really incredible program to offer my students that would allow them to quickly master jazz piano, pop piano stylings, and actually get accreditation as well, so their talents are recognized. And what I came across through a friend of mine who's also an incredibly talented classical pianist. His name is Brett Backus out of Backus Conservatory in Austin, Texas. He introduced me to London College of Music and their program. Now, London College of Music, obviously, part of West London University in London, has developed this international program for all genres of music. But specifically what I'm talking about today is jazz piano that allows students to go through an accredited grade program as well as actually get the accredited degrees as well while studying with a coach, meaning I hear so often from high school students, oh, I want to go to college and get a degree in music. It's so expensive. I don't know if my parents can help me with it. It's, I'll have to get a, $60,000 student loan, 5 to 6 years just to get a bachelor's now in some cases. And it's getting harder and harder out there. So I love that London put this program together, and I have been now doing this program for about 4 years, and I've seen just amazing, incredible results with all my students. So let me talk a little bit about it. So the London College of Music exam program for jazz piano, there are 8 grades. There are 2 books. Jazz Piano Handbook 1 is grades 1 through 5, and the Handbook 2, grades 6 through 8. And within those books, you're going to be working on many aspects of, you know, improvisation music. You're going to be doing obviously your technical work, scales, arpeggios. You're going to be having specific songs that help you master different stylings, and pretty much everything's included. You have blues, rock, swing, Latin, new agey kind of things, fusion, funk, a little bit of everything, okay? And what's really great is then again, you have 2 possibilities for passing these grades. One, which is wonderful, is called the Performance Awards. And what a student will do for grades 1 through 8 is they will work privately with their coach on those grades, and then would prepare 3 repertoire pieces for that grade level. 2 can be from the handbook. So you already have the book, 2 are already done. So you just pick, with your teacher, 1 more piece, and we work them into a professional, memorized recital. And then we do a DVD submission. So we make a DVD of the student performing, send it off to London, and then if you pass, you get your accreditation. You'll get a certificate saying you passed that grade. Now, this is really cool for many reasons. One reason is, let's say you're a parent with a young child you're trying to get into pop music. Now you have these DVD histories of your child's development in music. Or if you're an older artist getting into it, it's really great to see your progress or to be able to use those DVDs for a professional portfolio later on, okay? In addition, you have the option of doing the full performance exams. Now, what that would entail is going to a U.S. test center and they're in every, almost every state and easy to get to. They usually happen about twice a year. You would go to a test center and it would be a little bit more involved than just the performance awards. You will do scales and arpeggios. You have a little bit of ear training testing to do, and sometimes a little bit at the later grades of a music history or some liner notes for musical historical notes for what you're performing. Okay, and then you would get the full grade. After grade 8 are the actual degrees, which is amazing. So you can work with a coach and actually get the equivalent of, pretty much the equivalent of a bachelor's degrees. The degrees are called, in this order, affiliate, which is sort of like bachelor's, licentiate, like master's, and fellowship, similar to doctorate. And what I tell people too is unless you want to teach in a university or a high school, but you want a career in music, you don't necessarily have to go to a university. So for a lot of people, this is a better road because you can work one-on-one with a coach, be working on other aspects of the industry. Like for myself, I'm an artist developer and an agent. So in addition to the lessons I do with my students, I'm helping them put together multimedia packages, websites, fan base, tours, concerts, connecting with agents, the whole aspect of the business, recording albums. And this is what's really cool is that you just move faster. To give you an example, this is how amazing this is. I had two extraordinary students. I had one student that started with me in jazz piano grade 1 only a couple of years ago. He is 15-year-old and he is getting ready to do the performance awards for like grade 6 already, and in a short time. And that means by the time he is out of high school, because he's still got like 3 more years left, he's going to have his bachelor's or equivalent of that. Like I said, he's going to have the first diploma before he even graduates high school. So how cool is that? And saving all of that money. To give you an example too, my friends, is that the grades for the performance awards run only about $40 for submission, and the different grades for in-person, they go up depending on, how involved the grades and concerts are, and they can run anywhere from, I don't know, $75 up to, a few hundred. But, it's under several thousand, which is if you think about what it costs to go to a Cal State system, for example, here in California, even, most schools now are $25,000 or more a year, right? So it's a really great approach. Also, in addition to the performance in jazz awards and the exams, they also offer classical theory grades 1 through 8 and pop theory grades 1 through 8. I like my students to go to about grade 5 of the classical. That's pretty much everything you need to know. By grade 6, you're starting to go into classical composition, which is great if you're interested in things like songwriting or being a composer. But for, like I said, jazz pianists, you really only need up to grade 5. So that's kind of cool too. So you go, oh wow, only 5 grades? That's not too bad. And I know everything I kind of need to know. The other thing is the pop grades 1 through 8 are excellent. They focus a lot on learning all the what we call the jazz chord charts, learning the shorthand for leads. They work on all of the different jazz modals, scales, so forth, as well as all of the history. And that's another thing too, is a lot of students that enjoy research can get a degree in musicology, for example, jazz history, by writing a paper. And so they just basically, over a couple of years, like working with me, write a report, write a thesis, depending on what level they're going for. And they can submit that and basically have, have the opportunity of getting, that diploma, as well as getting a book published, for example, for those who are interested in that kind of thing. So anyway, that's a little bit about the London College of Music jazz piano program. I look forward to hearing from people all over the world. So just because I teach, like I said, my studio is in California, doesn't mean I can't possibly help you find someone to work with in your area, or I can answer questions for you. The other thing too is I do Skype lessons for voice as well, so I do the vocal coaching, and that's the other thing too. In voice, They offer classical voice, pop voice, musical theater voice, pretty much everything, and they do for most instruments as well. So, um, really a great program, and I hope those students that are looking for a jazz piano teacher might consider working with me or consider looking into this London College program a little bit more. You can also visit their website, which I will leave at the end of the video as well. Thanks for joining me, and if you have any questions, again, you can get me through my website or just through my office message. Thank you so much.